Alright guys, let's jump back into some of the culture news. My channel's still here. I was a little bit worried about that for a sec there. But anyway, no strikes or anything like that yet. Give it time, they'll track me down, no doubt. So while we still have a channel, let's talk about Greta Thunberg, who is apparently Person of the Year? Okay. Yeah, this is not politically biased at all, but let's jump into it. Look, at the end of the day, if you ever wanted to know how corrupt these award shows or anything are, you just have to simply look at who wins, right? At the end of the day, like, look, I'm not saying she doesn't do an important job or, you know, she didn't deserve to be recognized or whatever, but to literally win Person of the Year out of everybody on the whole earth, some autistic 16-year-old kid lecturing people about climate change is supposedly who we should be awarding Person of the Year. You know, not anybody that might go through and, you know, cause breakthroughs with cancer research or, you know, or HIV research or, you know, anybody that might go through and, for example, try and clean up the poverty-stricken areas of India or whatever it may be, right? None of those people deserve it. Instead, some 16-year-old kid who flies around the world or sails around the world or however she gets around the world, and we'll get to that in a sec, but gets around the world lecturing adults on behalf of corporate entities, on behalf of climate change, about climate change, is the Person of the Year. This is the person that should be Person of the Year. Huh? Really? There was nobody better? No, out of the 6 billion people or whatever it is on Earth, there was nobody better than Greta Thunberg. Yeah, these awards aren't biased at all, right? Let's jump into it. So, Greta Thunberg, a soft-spoken Swedish teenager, soft-spoken, sure, became global consistence for climate change and environmental activism and has been named Times Person of the Year in 2019. The magazine announced the 16-year-old's choice Wednesday exclusively on Today's Show. She became the biggest voice of our best issue facing the planet this year. The biggest issue this year is climate change. Not poverty, not slums, not California sliding into a third world cesspit. It's climate change. Climate change is the biggest issue, everybody. Right? Now, don't you forget it. Now, just ignore the fact that we had temperatures hotter in the 1940s than we do currently. But regardless, right? Just don't you forget, climate change is our biggest issue. It's not, you know, the people living below the poverty line. It's not the people that are unemployed. The biggest issue in the world is not people that don't have affordable housing or can't make ends meet or are living on the streets or dying of cancer or HIV or any of these other natural disasters or catastrophes. Our biggest problem is climate change. Right. Okie dokie then. I would have thought that wasn't... If that's the biggest issue we've got, I really think we need to rethink our priorities, but regardless. Thunberg's quick to bloom into the world's most notable climate change activist, sparking the collection of movements, blah, 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 initiative, blah, 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 blah. Her sole protest behalf of the planet. So he said that Thunberg represented a broader generation shift in the culture, with standing up for what they believe in from Hong Kong to Chile. The people that literally are protesting in Hong Kong right now. Sorry, your plight is not as big as climate change. This 16-year-old Swedish girl who is paid, we presume, from corporate entities, because how else is she flying around the world? She's more important than the Hong Kong protests, or the France protests, or the Chile, or people, or what's happening in Chile, or the people that are protesting still in Venezuela, or any of those sort of situations, right? You all are second-class citizens to some 16-year-old girl talking to the world leaders about climate change. I do love the fact that they say that she's a soft-spoken activist, but then they say that her signature, no nonsense, blunt style. But you literally set up here that she's soft-spoken. Soft-spoken Swedish teenager. She's soft-spoken, but she's blunt, no-nonsense style. Right, okay, those two are, mutually exclusive of each other, but anyway. She told her, blah, blah, blah. We all know the spiel. We've heard it over and over and over. It's like we're dreaming. It infects your dreams and turns into a nightmare. Alright, now obviously Greta Thunberg, named Person of the Year, chosen by a Magan tradition that started in 1927, climate change activist, blah, blah, blah. Reacting to the nomination on Twitter, the activist, wow, this is unbelievable. I share this great honor with everybody that is in the Fridays for Future movement and climate activists everywhere. Oh, we really need to look into that. Fridays for Future. I love it when they give you hints about their political organizations. Twitter. I don't want to compose a tweet. I just want to look into Fridays for Future. Thank you very much. The teenager's message, however, could not be received by everyone, most notably primarily conservative voices. Greta said that the Indians died because they were defending the Amazons? It's impressive that the press is giving space to a brat like that. What? She said what? Greta said that the Indians died because they were defending the Amazon. She really didn't say that, did she? Hang on. Seems like she might have actually said that. What? No. Okay, so 2 indigenous people in Brazil were supposedly killed. Greta said that the Indians died because they were defending the Amazon. Yeah, how are they defending the Amazon is what I want to know. I'll have to check into that. Okay, so apparently she did say that. Wow, okay. She's previously allies with the US President Trump, who's questioned climate change, blah, blah, blah. But yeah. Look, at the end of the day, is anybody surprised she won the nomination? Like, come on. Yeah. Apparently she has made a statement regarding it, and we'll get to that in a sec. Teenage climate activist Greta Thunberg is Times Person of the Year. Times editor unveiled this year's winning on TV the same. She also represented a broader generational shift in the culture that we're seeing from campuses of Hong Kong to the process of Chile and Florida. Thunberg garnered headlines this year for sailing rather than flying. You see if she still sails. I don't think she does, actually. From England to New York City to attend the United Nations Climate Summit. You do realise that boats still use engines, right? Especially when they don't have wind. And she would have had to use a diesel engine to pull into the harbour because there's no way you'd do it under sail. But okay, and this is what I don't have. Right, obviously, they're not talking about the other people, right? Who were the other people that were nominated? I know I'm getting that wrong for spelling. I know. Okay, so here is the list, right? This is the list of people that were nominated for 2000 Person of the Year. God, the bloody... Oh, you're blocking our ads! No, don't block our ad revenue, we need the money! Right. So, according to this... Final 5. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, President Donald Trump, who would never win, the whistleblower, Greta Thunberg, or the Hong Kong protesters. Out of that list, who do you guys think should have won or has done more for culture? Like, there's no way Trump would win it, right? Fine. Nancy Pelosi probably shouldn't win it either, right? True. Both sides. But do you not think the Hong Kong protesters had more of a impact in culture this year? Maybe? Or what about the 500,000 people that marched in Madrid last night on December the 7th? You know, we're not caring about them, although that was for climate change, but, you know, still. But, you know, look, at the end of the day, it's just like, is this the best we've got? The best person of the year? Out of all the people that could possibly have done anything, you know, throughout the whole year, anybody that could have cured cancer, AIDS, you know, that's gone through and maybe cleaned up, so made some sort of invention that can clean up society. No, we got to listen to some brat go through and lecture us on climate change. That's the person of the year. You know, you tell me that these awards shows aren't rigged. To me, I think the whole thing is a load of crap. I really, really do. There was someone that said something about... There was someone else she was running against. And... Charlie Kirk saying Donald Trump should have won it. And here's an interesting thing for you guys. The Federalist. Person of the Year is not Greta Thunberg, it's a Hong Kong protest. Time magazine has named Person of the Year a teenager who skipped school to travel around the world telling people that they're horrible and the planet is doomed. Planet is doomed. It's a lie. Start again. Time magazine has named Person of the Year a teenager who skipped school, travelled around the world telling people that they're horrible and the planet is doomed. It's a living, perhaps the Hermetis version that fulfill the future experience, but it's not very likely. The fact that her position is at odds with what we know, the more responsible approach to climate requires action from China and India, not the West. But that makes for less convenient judgmental events. So Henry Lucius' 1920 prospectus for Time magazine included the list of prerequisites or prerequisites. A belief that the world is round and the admiration of the states of the developed world, cost of government, faith in the things that money cannot buy, blah, 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 blah. In defiance of the most powerful authoritarian regime in the modern world, the protesters in Hong Kong have stood against the authority of the Red China with courage and dedication. They have not bowed to the brutality of the police who have murdered, raped, and abused them, and have not ran from the tear gas or the horses. They refuse to back down, and because of that, their message has been heard. This protest that cuts across the lines of age and class, and while the protesters are young, they are supported by their parents' generation, which feels guilt over not asserting themselves earlier. So their mantra is, be water. Hong Kong has enjoyed freedoms never presented in mainland China. Those see the freedom slip away rather than bow to an intoxicable betrayal and the sluggish assertion by the murderous state. They stood and they fight. They're no bigger fight, and so the Hong Kong protesters is the Person of the Year. And he makes a very, very good point. Out of all the people that should be People of the Year, out of everybody, we're not going to give it to these people that have gone through and are literally taking on an authoritarian government who are standing against all odds. We're going to give it to a 16-year-old kid that lectures us on climate change. Like, wow. But I don't know, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. To be honest, I really don't think she deserves it. I really do think that the Hong Kong protesters deserve this award. And it just goes to show how incredibly biased these award shows and these awards are when the Hong Kong protesters don't get this. It literally is a joke. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. If this video has been helpful, please smack that like button. If you're new to the channel, welcome and subscribe. Apart from that, guys, I will see you in the next demonetized video from YouTube. Have a great day and enjoy.